As you may or may not be able to tell, I'm communicating from a lot of darkness. It's about 4:45, an hour behind schedule, but I'm stopping here for a rest. I should sit down for a bit. A little, I feel my body's a little bit sore. Not sore, but like I can tell on my knee or whatever that I'm just achy. Oh, so this is good. We'll smoke a bit. We'll enjoy the darkness, and then we'll move on. Ah, gotta get my hat on first. I sit on a wool hat, so that's pretty good. I see that some icicles have come down, basically right from right above me, so that's all done with. That's good. Or they've rolled down here, either way. Um, oh, I only have 10 seconds battery, 10% battery, so I'll make a 5-minute video and then we'll move on. Whew. Baby, that's what I like. Boom, 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 boom. Baby, that's what I like. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Bum, 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 bum. It's a story of a man and lady. How they kind of bumped uglies in the dark. And one had nipples like gold. The other brother, he had a human heart. Not like the other animals that she included. She found out by getting a test strip of DNA. Okay. Whew. It is a wonderful kind of pretty, isn't it? When it's getting dark and you know it's going to get too dark pretty soon for you to get home. And, but you've got a flashlight and you've got a good 45 minutes if you pucker up and get going. Because there shall be no light of the moon for thee tonight. But it offers a kind of challenge, so I'm going to rest. This is where the best thing to do, I know my way. I got a flashlight, is to rest. To rest. I'm going to take a rest. Catch my breath. I'm pretty stoned and excited. I don't want to get hurt. This, you're excited, you're tired, you want to go home. It's exciting, you're stoned. Now I just got to be like, don't get hurt. There's enough ways to get hurt between here and coming home, so. Sing a happy song. I hear 80 songs in my head a lot, so. Pick one. I can just hear an instrumental. I couldn't say it out loud. Maybe it's just this beautiful river. Whew. Seen some lovely birds. Eagle or two. My home, like I feel like as good as I should have felt when I was 10 years old at Christmas. I do feel pretty good. My mom is anxious to get her MP3 player working, so I got her one for Christmas with some cordless headphones that nonetheless seem to have. I'm trying to get her used to that idea. Oh, hello. Or sort of get myself used to that idea. So it'll be quite nice. So we've got it now. But I sense things, It's like being in my family and living close to my family by no fault of my mother's own. Sometimes it's like, I'm afraid. There's been some not good things that have gone on in my family and her family. And I'm vulnerable. I wish I could just tell people that I'm vulnerable. Like, I'm not just a scaredy cat. I'm not just an angry dude. I'm vulnerable. Anyone can be vulnerable. Oh, yes. Do I think I could be so much happier? Made peace about my mother and father and various things? Yes. That's a nice thought. Let's visit that place, shall we? Hey, Dad. Thanks for coming out, walking with me in the dark. Sure, son. No, I've always loved you the best. Well, Dad, that's a little bit abusive. No, really. I do my children the best, you see. You misunderstand me. I love Leighton the best, and Lindsay the best, and Lawson the best, and you the best. Because you're all the best. Well, you're the best too, Dad. You're swell. In fact, I'm getting a little swollen just being near you. Well, son, your homoerotic tendencies towards your father are completely acceptable. Current psychiatric studies have overturned all preconceived notions about the unnatural and potentially perverted nature of a young man's penis for his own father. By the way, we'll be serving pigs in a blanket at the psychiatric ball this Sunday. Or should we say balls? We're having two simultaneously. And then there'll be a strong phallic looking place in between where we'll all rush up and come out of the tip at the very end. Once we've worked ourselves into a tizzy. And one of our favorite patients will be bent over or have her legs suitably torn asunder, and then we'll head right in and fertilize the egg. And what's wonderful is that she's paying for all of this. She's getting the golden ram treatment at the top of the pyramid castle of psychiatric abandon. Wow, you're getting the golden bull treatment. The golden ram, sorry. What happens with the golden bull? Well, it's the same thing, except you just have to bend over. And you don't get to keep one of your testicles. You start, at that point in the cult, you start paying with body parts. They dispense with the whole monetary system. Just give us your colon and we'll call it even. We don't want to take it from you. We just want to fill it right up. So you have to start using the rest of your body as a colon right from the beginning. Wow, that's genius. Well, you think that's genius, you've seen nothing yet. We're going to dig up your parents from the grave and start filling them up with shit too. Oh, darn, they're already full. Our mistake. But you're still paying for it. Like a serial killer that makes you pay for the shovel, the lime, and the gas it takes to drive your body to some secluded part of the desert. So do I imagine modern man's existence in relationship to certain powers put into certain form and given certain names. And if you could entertain the possibility, we could all live with a suspension of disbelief sufficient to analyze all the other suspension of disbelief, and then we could all live happily after. Satire of the first rank that reveals a world rank with the unnecessary sacrifice of our people to device and to the re-standardization of signs, that even as I speak, take the voices of our people and silence them. This is a silencing commensurate with the cutting of the larynx of the sacrificial bull, preface to being thrown at the mercy of the matador. And a group of people, conditioned and groomed through various devices, to think that this bull, whose eyes have been pointed, whose blood has been poisoned, whose larynx has been cut, whose horns have been removed and replaced with retractable prosthetics, is then sent blind with fear and fury and whatever else into this totally strange place that pushes him to the center of the ring to be treated like a brutish, unrelenting, and merciless murderer who must be killed like the evil and scapegoated. Now, do you like the silencing of human beings? And sometimes when you start speaking after a protracted silence, there are sounds which you might make that no one is writing about. One of your therapies is going to help you with the resounding noise and pandemonium of the sounds that people make and the stirrings people make after or constantly as a constant recovery to the onslaught of silencing-oriented culture. Silencing. That's giving us voices everywhere to complain about the environment and how our parents behave and gender and everything else, politics and food and the world and the baby seal and all kinds of disaffected people, yet is doing nothing to respect. If you want to respect your God, if you want a brother, your sister, your sacred God or altar of choice, respect the human voice. And unfortunately, people who don't have the voice that they deserve may find it harder to respect the voices of others. This is something that can happen to any of us. It's hard to hear pain. It's hard to hear light. But if you have the luxury of hearing someone scream in the distance and going home, just let their scream contribute something to your life, even if you don't like that voice, and you don't have to, right? But it says something to you. It says, you're not wrong to think that there are inequities to this world. And no one has solved them yet. And a part of your sacred mind is tasked with the object, if not solving the world's problems, solving a beautiful, minuscule little part of the world's problems by, if only, solving your own, which is fine, right? We do that every day. And hopefully, just in your faith and in your imagination of the power of such occupations, whether they're paid for or you're able to talk about them or not, all the things you do to survive will be added appropriately in the right way with all the other ways other people are trying to survive this difficult world to understand, much less survive and help others recover from torments to their survival, agonies that they live in their own mind every day. I know. And then they would all add together, and we would all have charitably relieve each other of such and such amount of ennui and suffering and potential agony, because we'd all grown from these small but not insignificant trials that we took to solve in our own very small way the problems of the world.